Hello everybody, my name is Cody Bowman. My presentation today is about Amos Comenius. Uh, he's known today as the father of modern education. I'd never heard of him before until I signed up to do to do research on him, and it's been really interesting to learn about him. He really has affected the way we learn today, and it's been really interesting to learn about him. First, I'd like to just talk about just a little bit about him and his history and background. He was born in 1592 in Czechoslovakia. His family was very religious. They belonged to the Bohemian Brethren Church. They died when he was young, when he was 10 years old. He attended school there in his hometown, and the way he was taught Latin was through rote memorization, and also through threats of punishment if he wouldn't learn. And he developed quite a bad taste in his mouth about that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on, because that affected some of the things that he did later on in his life. He attended secondary school and also went to university, and he went to study to be in the ministry. He actually became a bishop, and he was put over several different congregations and churches, where he was also put in charge of schooling. He wrote many books, some books that changed the way we do things today. He lost his wife and his children. During his life, there were a lot of wars and tumult and different things. He received a lot of religious persecution. He spent a lot of his life trying to get away from this persecution and in hiding. His things were destroyed. His family was killed through sickness and different things. He lost his first wife and children, and also a second wife. Because of the things he did in education, he was asked to be over the schools in England, and he based in philosophy, and he based his philosophy in Pan-Sophie, and he was even asked to be the president of Harvard, which he turned down. Some of his philosophy, like I said before, when he was a child, he had to learn Latin through rote memorization, and he felt that children learn best by visual learning and experience. He felt that parents and teachers should recognize the natural abilities that children have, and learning styles that they have, and tailor their lessons towards those things. He wrote these ideas in a book called The Great Didactic and the School of Infancy. He also wrote more ideas about languages in a book called Genua Linguarum Reserrata, The Door of Languages Unlocked. This book was actually a very popular book and was widespread across Europe. Another book that he wrote that was the first of its kind was a picture book for children. He connected words with pictures, and that was the first picture book for children that was ever written. He also believed that children learn best by doing, and also the use of play. As I mentioned before, he believed in a philosophy called Pan-Sophie. or Pan-Sophie. I don't know if I said that correctly. But that just meant universal knowledge. And he believed that if man could harmonize knowledge, that the disharmony of the world would be reconciled. He believed that if teachers could find the best ways that children learned, that they would learn more naturally. So instead of just making them memorize things, they would tailor their lessons toward their learning abilities. Some of his contributions to education today, well, first of all, what we have today as visual aids, he was the pioneer of that by writing his book Orbis Pictus. That's the reason why we do that today. He's the one that started it. He also was the first one to create a system where there were different stages in the learning process that started from the easiest level to the hardest level. So our modern day education today, we have elementary schools that start in grade, kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth. He's the one that pioneered that system. He recognized how ineffective some of the teachers were in helping students learn, and he dedicated his life to thinking outside of the box, thus finding ways to offer real learning through the senses and natural curiosity. I know for me, I'm a very hands-on and visual learner, and so I'm very grateful for the steps that he made in recognizing children's different learning processes, because that's how I learn best, and so that's how he has affected my life. So that is John Amos Comenius, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.